Hello. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm moving in about 2 months out of California, finally. But I will be having to get rid of a lot of things. I have a lot of plants that I think will be a little bit difficult to move around. So I've decided to go ahead and chop a lot of my vines up. And I guess I kind of wanted to bring you guys along with me. It's been a while since I've done a good amount of propagation. I've never really done anything too high volume. Usually it's like 1 or 2 cuttings at a time. But right now I'm actually going to be chopping up pretty much all my vines, keeping just little parts of the mother plant, and then propagating everything and seeing if I can either give them as gifts or, maybe make a few bucks off of selling them on Facebook Marketplace or something. So, kind of going to take you along with me and show you how to propagate some cool plants and kind of show off some of my plants in the meantime. So the first one we're going to take care of is my philodendron adansonii. Some of the leaves, the older leaves, are starting to get kind of tip burn, so might have to try and fix some of that, but we're going to be getting a lot of cuttings out of this guy. I've also got a philodendron micans right here that has a few different vines that I'll be able to make some good cuttings with, but you can see my adansonii is incredibly long, so that's going to be a fun one, and I'll have a lot of cuttings from that. I've got some pothos as well, and I've got a Cebu blue pothos over here, and yeah. All right, well, this is gonna be kind of sad, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start small. Ugh. All right, geez, this thing's huge. For reference, I'm 5'6". This guy's at least 8-9 feet long, and we have a lot more to go. So, finally got a mic. This should probably help with audio quality for my videos, and just a DJI mic. I think it's just their first model. I probably should have gotten the second model because that has like Bluetooth connectivity, but I wasn't thinking too much and just realized that just a little bit ago after I got it. So it's fine, we can just stick with this one. And I'll probably get more or get another one much later once I have some funds for it. Okay. Put this back here. All right, now we're gonna move over to my Cebu blue. It's one of my favorite houseplants. It's quite beautiful. Depending on how well you take care of it and how much you let it kind of grow upwards, it can actually get some really nice fenestrations. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe chop it from here, right there, and then we'll do that right there. Okay, we've got 2 nice vines from the Cebu blue. Still have plenty of mother plant left on here, and if I'm feeling a little spicy, I can go ahead and cut more. So what I'm doing here is I'm emptying out one of my plastic bins since I didn't have any free. I went and sterilized it to make sure there wasn't any like dirt and nasty stuff that could possibly grow in there. And then I went and grabbed some perlite, filled it up, and got it moist. Perlite's really good because it doesn't really contain any nutrients or anything, but it allows a lot of good airflow, so it's really good for using with cuttings. How we're gonna do this is I'm gonna be taking several different cuttings, and then just as I cut them, I will be setting them in my perlite box. It's pretty simple. Generally, all you want to do is find these little areas where the leaf comes up, and with tropical vines or a lot of philodendron species and monsteras and other things of that nature tend to have this little piece right here, and that's what we call an aerial root. You want to make sure you cut right below it. Don't leave too much space because you just generally end up, losing that piece of the stem, and it becomes kind of like, it just rots off usually. So there's a handful of different ways to do this with, especially with philodendron species. I could just go ahead and cut this right here. And what'll happen is we'll get roots out of here and it'll start growing. It'll probably get a new growth node around here as well that will shoot the new stem out. But you go ahead and take this and just stick it right in here. That's about it. And then we'll continue this process until we've gotten all our cuttings. So, problem we have here is that we just have a long stem with no leaves. It is not impossible to get cuttings from those nodes or to get rooting from those nodes, but it's generally not easy, and more than likely it's just gonna rot away and die. So we're just gonna go ahead and chop off this really long leafless vine, and we'll throw that in the compost bin. Another thing we can do is, instead of making all these several little cuts, we could instead take one that's a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and cut it all the way up here. We're also going to want to cut this off as well. That's just going to be a wasted stem. And now we have 3 leaves. What we are going to want to do, however, is probably cut this leaf, because what I'm going to do with this one, instead of putting in the perlite box, I have these. These are really fun. I love making cuttings this way. Generally, all I do is stick the plant in here, make sure there's no leaves there, and then I just fill it with water and leave it kind of in indirect sun, a bright corner of the room that doesn't necessarily get a whole lot of sun, and then it might take a little bit longer because I live in a generally dry climate, so it's not super humid. So it might take longer to root, but I think it's kind of fun having these on a windowsill or on a bookshelf or something. They look really cute. So we're gonna do that for a few of them. Also, if you're working with perlite, definitely be sure to try not to breathe in the dust, because that stuff's not very good for you. All right, let's get back to our simple cuttings. I think what I'm going to do with this one, because we actually have a new leaf coming in at the very top of it, we're going to do the same thing that we otherwise would, is we're just going to stick this piece into the perlite. I'm not too sure what really might happen. In fact, actually, the It's a little frustrating, you know. Sorry about that. We're still learning. Yeah, never mind. I'm gonna cut. I need to get sharper clippers. What I'm gonna try to do is, you can see the node right here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it right there. And so we'll see if this actually like finishes growing its leaf. I've never tried this before, but it'll be a little bit of an experiment. Okay, well that's one of my handful of vines. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, possibly 8 cuttings out of it. Oh, 9, including the one I already put in here. We're gonna go ahead and use this rooting compound. It is a gel. You can also get powders. You can get just like liquids. I'm not sure which one's really better. This is actually the only rooting compound I've ever used, and I don't use it that often, so I still have a lot left. But how I generally like to do it, I've seen people just dip their cuttings directly into it. I've been advised not to do that, so we're not gonna do that. Right, so I've got my rooting compound, I've got my paper towels, got a little clean butter knife here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of like take some of it, set it on this paper towel, and then we'll dip into that. That way we don't end up contaminating our entire stock of rooting hormone. So it's pretty simple. All you wanna do is just kind of like, what we're gonna actually have to do is chop this off first. You know, I'm not entirely sure, since there's already like 2 stems on this one, if that will even root, or not necessarily as worried about the rooting aspect as I am the growth node. So when we take one of these, we'll go ahead and just stick it in here. And we'll just kind of repeat that process. So that's generally the process for that. So now we've just got this entire other large pile of vines to chop up and take care of. Pretty much out of room in the prop box, so I think we're gonna go ahead and let that be. I have some vines left, and I'll just go ahead and put these in my little glass tubes. This is the first time I've made a prop box, so we'll see how it works. Pretty much what I'm gonna have to do is just keep it nice and moist in there. Obviously you don't want it too watery, but the perlite keeps everything pretty much aerated, and so things won't rot as easily. And we keep a lid on it, and that'll maintain the moisture. I'll check up on it every every few days at first, just to make sure nothing too gross is growing inside there. And then after maybe like 5 to 6 weeks, we'll have some rooted cuttings. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got for today. I think I'm gonna let those grow and see how the prop box works, since I've never done it before I start chopping up the rest of my vines. And I will maybe just do a little update here in about a month or two to show how it turned out. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, there's the doobly-doos down there, and if you want to check out some other hiking videos, got some, and I appreciate anybody who made it this far. Thanks.